I'm your host, Aileen Peterson, a traditional midwife, healer, herbalist, and ancestral Earthskills guide providing holistic, full-spectrum, community-based support from cradle to grave. This podcast is about remembering ancestral wisdom for healing and whole-body well-being, reconnecting to earth-based lifeways through traditional skills and land connection, and reclaiming our sovereignty by rewilding our health, birth, and parenting. My work and these transmissions are spiritual, radical, and anarchist explorations of the depths of our primal nature and how to reconnect with our ancient lineages and birthright of wholeness, health, autonomy, and a magical wild life rooted in connection to land, spirit, and community. It is for those yearning for an older, deeper, wilder way to navigate the late-stage capitalist landscape of the Anthropocene age while supporting ourselves and our communities regeneratively within and beyond the systems we live in. We are decolonizing, revillaging, rematriating, remembering, and reclaiming together. This is for the folk remembering their wildness. Be sure to subscribe to our Substack and to the podcast on Apple Podcasts to get notified when new episodes are released and access to episode transcripts and additional resources. You can subscribe for free, but by joining our paid Substack tier for $5 a month, your financial contribution acts like a Patreon and helps us to create this content for you. You'll also get access to exclusive content not available anywhere else online, all archived Substack posts, and occasional freebies. A little note about language before we dive into today's episode. I am a queer woman who identifies with and uses both feminine and gender-neutral or non-binary language for myself, and I work with others who have various gender identities. The language that I use in this podcast is fluid, and I will go back and forth between utilizing gendered and non-gendered language, depending on the topic, source, and experience or experiencer. Please feel free to replace any gender-identifying terms with those that align more with yourself if needed when reading or listening to my publications. Today's episode is a reading of my short fictional piece titled Wild Ones. It is a 3-part telling of a natural, magical, ancestral way of navigating through our reproductive choices. It is the inspiration for how I show up and hold space for others and the work of my heart and hands. In this piece are mentioned a few terms in other languages. Sauna is a Finnish steam bath traditionally used for healing, ritual cleansing, birth, and death rites. Bjargruge is Old Norse for helping woman and was a term used for birth attendants in the Viking Age. Banthassa is Irish Gaelic for a wise woman, meaning she who knows, who was a seer healer, someone who uses magic and herbs and other techniques for healing. And I'm learning Finnish, but please forgive me if I butcher it. But tietäjä also means one who knows and is the Finnish equivalent of a shaman recognized up through the 19th century that was a spiritual healer and seer who acted as intermediary between the world of humans and the world of spirits. Runes, in this context, are found in both Old Norse and Finnish spiritual and folk magic traditions, and are magical songs sung by a magician for certain purposes. These terms come from the 3 ancestral lineages that I am most closely tied to: Scandinavian, Irish, and Finnish. Wild woman. You turn your eyes to the darkening sky, and you see it there. You feel it in your bones, the silver sliver of the moon riding low on the horizon, fading orange and gold with the setting of the sun. The air is clear, crisp, your skin is chilled but alive. You feel it, you hear it. A thrum in your blood, a whisper in your ear as the wind blows. It pulls at your feet to draw you deeper and deeper into the forest. Your strong belly twinges with the pain of an egg bursting forth. In a fortnight, your womb will grow heavy with blood needing to be shed, red and rich and powerful, for the seeds of the white-faced meadow flowers keep your womb empty of life. But now you must run wild and free into the coming night. An owl flies overhead on silent wings and calls out to you, hunting. You are hunting with it, hunting your freedom, your wildness. You pause, silent. The owl too sees your prey, the flashing white of a rabbit moving through the dark brush. A bow is held in one hand, drawn slowly back with the strength in your shoulders curving like the slender maiden moon above you. Maliki, the huntress, blesses your aim, and it flies true. Like fairy arrows, it flies on fletchings of hawk feathers. A sudden cry in the quiet night, and then blood is on your knife. Life for life. And a song is sung for the spirit crossing, for the thanksgiving. Steel strikes flint and a flame is born, meat set to roasting and golden mushrooms sizzle and pop, frying in bear fat in the hot stone bowl. Golden owl eyes watch from the edge of the firelight, feathers settling as sharp talons grasp at the tiny body of a gray field mouse. Nourishment from the deep earth for your star bones. Wild food for wild creatures. Primal Mother. Not long ago you put away the bitter seeds you used to chew when you lay with your man and opened yourself to receive him. Now your belly is round as the full moon cast upon the clouds like a deep-hulled galleon at sea. Life grows there, stirring deep within the soft sea of your womb. You have spent your days in the garden and swimming in the warm sea. Now your leather-clad feet carry you over the soft grass of the meadow, your sharp eyes searching the liminal space where the meadow meets the forest. Just there, in the dappled shadows of the great giants, you find what you seek. Nettle for nourishing the blood, its sting a warm tingle in your fingertips. Wild raspberries, red juice staining your lips, the leaves for the growing womb. The feathered leaves and flower umbels of yarrow for bleeding, and deeper past the tree line there is cohosh to keep the labor rushes strong and unwavering. Squatting deep and flat-footed, hips stretching and widening gently, you gather your herbs, preparing your medicines for your lying-in time. You draw up the power of the earth through your feet. It is grounding, giving you strength to endure the ordeal that is to come. And when the birthing tides do come, so too does the Bjargrugur, the helping woman who knows the ways of birthing, the Banfassa, the healer woman who knows the ways of herbs. She is Tiataya, the seer woman who stands with one foot in each world, she who sees through the veil, she with the birthing runes etched with black ink and bone needles into the soft flesh of her hands. She will come, and she will drum, and she will sing you across on your mother journey to bring your star child home. Feral child. Your pains came, and so too came the helping woman with her herbs and her knitting and her elk hide drum. She started the fire in the sauna and gave you hot broth to drink. She rubbed bear fat into your hips when they ached and let you hang from her shoulders naked and swaying in the dark warmth of the sauna. When your rushes came stronger, she took up her drum and beat it to the sound of your own heart, to the heart of the earth beating deep beneath your feet. When the outgoing tide shifted and you rested in the liminal space before the tide came in and the babe would descend, she sat and waited, watching silently, all-seeing, wooden needles tapping quietly in her tattooed fingers. When you rose, startled from your sleep, bringing yourself to one knee, she came closer, but gave you the space a wild, birthing animal would need. The drum was set down, and her voice took up the rune. She sang quietly there, witnessing, as your hands moved between your legs, and with a cry your star child was born, pink and strong, silent, watching. She smiled and sang as you waited, returning, then brought your babe to your breast, heavy now and leaking golden nectar. Warm blankets, warm broth, a warm bed you were nested in, your mate, your children, they are there, silent, wide-eyed and watching, witnessing. Your children all are bright-eyed and barefooted with dirty feet and berry-stained fingers. They are long at the breast, carried always and long without shoes. They are free running in the field and the deep forest, swimming naked in the snow-cold mountain creek and sleeping in the sun on gray river stones. They wish to know the ways of swimming and crawling and flying things, of the green growing things. Their fingers quickly bring forth flame from wood on wood, eyes laughing as the drill spins, dancing. Their heart is knowing and somber, deeply reverent as your mate guides their hand holding the knife between meat and hide. They are wild. They are free. Thank you for joining me for today's podcast episode. If you feel called to autonomous, traditional, and holistic support on your journey, please visit www.bearwomanwisdom.com to learn more about my full-spectrum reproductive and naturopathic wellness offerings, upcoming classes and workshops, both online and in person, online resources such as digital ebooks, and my herbal apothecary.